Welcome inside our KDKA studios for Eye on the Majors, the PGA Championship edition. I'm your host, Rich Walsh. We'll take a look back at Scottie Scheffler's big win at Quail Hollow and also look ahead to the U.S. Open coming up at Oakmont Country Club. The 107th PGA Championship was competitive for about 63 holes until Scheffler turned on the jets for the final 9. Scheffler was great on the back 9 at Quail Hollow, played the final 9 holes at 7 under, was 11 under total. In the final 2 rounds, he shot 32 on Saturday on the back 9 and 34 on Sunday on the back 9. Probably could have been a 33, but missed that short par putt on 18. Things were tied on 9, and that's when it got interesting. Both Scheffler and Jon Rahm were 9 under, but Rahm fell apart down the stretch, finishing bogey, double. That's 5 over during the final 3 holes. Scheffler knows how to win, that's for sure. He's basically in a class of 3 right now. He has more wins than any other golfer by the age of 29. Only Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods have more. It's Scheffler's 3rd major, first PGA Championship. And in the end, he was 5 shots clear of the field. After Scheffler, there were 3 tied for second. Harris English, Bryson DeChambeau, watch out for him in the U.S. Open, and Davis Riley. Taylor Pendrith was tied for 5th with Jonathan Villegas and JT Potson, and Jon Rahm fell all the way to a 10-way tie for 8th at 4 under. And just think, where Scheffler was last year at this time, remember, he was arrested at Valhalla in Louisville before the start of last year's PGA Championship. This year, totally different story, from handcuffs to the Wanamaker Trophy.
It was a long week. I felt like this was as hard as I've battled for a tournament in my career. I mean, this was a pretty challenging week. I mean, the first 2 days I did not swing at my best, and I was able to post a score somehow. And, outside of the last 5 holes yesterday, that's where I really kind of put myself ahead in the tournament. And, the back 9 today was pretty special as well. But yesterday, the way I finished off that round, I think it was really important for me to have a lead to play with today. And, I played with it a little bit more than I would have liked to. I think at one point in the tournament I was tied for the lead on the back 9, but stepped up when we needed to, and it was a pretty special week. I love coming out here and trying to compete and win golf tournaments, and that's what I'm focused on. And after this week, I'm going to go home and get ready for next week's tournament, and the show goes on. If I show up and miss a cut next week, I'm going to have to answer questions of what went wrong, and just start over again on Thursday. So. That's one of the things that can be frustrating about our game, but that's also what's great about our game. If I had a tough day today and came in with a loss, I can step back up on the tee Thursday next week and have another chance to win a tournament. And it's an endless pursuit, and it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely one of the great joys of my life, being able to compete out here. How many guys are in the field this week? 156? You got to beat 155 guys if you want to be sitting up here. There's a lot of guys you got to beat, and I knew somebody was going to make a move today. There's too much talent in the game of golf right now for me to just be able to kind of slap the ball around today with a 3-shot lead, and 3 shots in 18 holes is really not that much. I gave that up, I think, in 9 holes today. But overall, I was proud of how I stepped up on the back 9 and hit the shots when I needed to. It was a big birdie I made on 10, hit really quality shots on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, really, and, was able to build up a lead and kind of play pretty conservative the last 3 holes, and, 2 nice up and downs around 16, 17, and then I, was able to kind of slap it around there on 18.
Scottie is the best golfer in the world right now, and look what he's done the last 4 seasons. 82 starts, 45 top 5s, 18 wins, 3 majors, 2 players, 1 gold medal, 4 missed cuts. That might be more impressive than anything else. $75 million in official PGA Tour money, 141 weeks at world #1, including right now. Not many have ever had a resume like that. Like I said, maybe only Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. We all enjoyed watching the PGA Championship from our couches, and when we come back, we will take you behind the scenes of what it takes to put on a major production. Welcome back to Eye on the Majors PGA Championship edition. I'm Rich Walsh. There's a lot that goes into putting on a live golf broadcast on CBS, and it's much more ramped up when it's a major. Let's take a behind-the-scenes look at what it looks like behind the camera for this year's PGA Championship.
Broadcasting a major championship is like watching an orchestra. But this orchestra is really, really big.
We have around 1,000 people behind the camera. We have, I would say, 200 cameras out there on the course.
Everywhere you look, you see a camera around Quail Hollow Club. And it probably helps that the championship is in a familiar place.
We have covered Quail Hollow and its incredible tournament since 2003. But this is a major. This is different.
To make it different, they incorporate a lot of tools and technology.
We have a 300-yard fly cam. We have 2 bunker cams. We have a sparrow cam, which runs through hospitality. We have a crane.
Yes, a crane with a cameraman on top.
His name is Cup, and he's 100 feet up in the air. It's an incredible piece of equipment, but it also is covering a hole that could make or break whether a player wins or loses the Wanamaker Trophy.
All the cameras, microphones, on-course reporters, and the graphics end up here in the broadcast compound.
We have around 20 18-wheelers, all doing specific things around the course.
From front 9 audio and video to back 9 audio and video, there are people working on graphics and replays of great shots. All the work going on in the fleet of 18-wheelers ends up in front of coordinating producer Sellers Schott and director Steve Milton, who has 50 major championships under his belt. In fact, a lot of the crew has decades of majors and Super Bowls to their credit.
The beauty about our crew is that the moment isn't too big. We're ready. I know the fans are ready to see us put on a good show, and I promise you we'll deliver.
And now the page turns to the U.S. Open, and professional golfers will take over Oakmont in June. And there is no doubt Scotty is the favorite coming into the 3rd major of the season. Scotty's the top golfer in the world right now, followed by Rory McIlroy, who just won the Masters and has 2 PGAs under his belt. Xander Schauffele won the PGA last year. Colin Morikawa, Justin Thomas, Ludwig Åberg, Hideki Matsuyama, Russell Henley, Sepp Straka, and Bryson DeChambeau round out the top 10 in world golf rankings. And when you think of the U.S. Open, it's always a test of golf, and it's even more so when it's at Oakmont, arguably the toughest test of golf in the world. And you have to think the best golfers will rise to the top when you have to put 4 good rounds together, which might be a challenge at Oakmont. I'm clearly not one of the best golfers in the world, but Oakmont is a challenge for all. It's the ultimate test of golf, and nothing is easy. It almost feels like work to get around that course. The greens are lightning fast. I made a few putts, mainly to save par or bogey. The greens will be running 15 to 16 on the stimp meter, which measures how fast the putts are. To put it in perspective, your average public golf course around Pittsburgh is about a 9 or 10. Some private courses can get up to a 12 or 13, maybe even 14. That's pushing it, but none of those courses have the undulations and breaks like Oakmont does. But in my opinion, the absolute biggest challenge will be the rough, which I think will be the biggest challenge for golfers over Father's Day weekend for the Open. The rough will be 6 inches come Thursday. These pros will not have good lies if they miss the fairway, and in some spots might not even be able to see or hit the ball. This is right off the fairway. No graduated rough like in 2016 and 2007. This course will have even the best golfers in the world scratching their heads. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler has a really good chance to win. This course sets up perfectly for him. He's so good, it's boring to watch. He hits it far and straight, which is a must, and is a good enough putter that he can make putts. But accuracy is the biggest key here, especially off the tee. Now, Rory McIlroy is another favorite. If you can win at Augusta, you can win at Oakmont, but Oakmont, I think, might be a little tougher. Rory has 29 career wins plus 5 majors, including this year's Masters, which completed a career Grand Slam. He won the PGA twice in 2012 and 2014, the Open Championship also in 14, and his only U.S. Open win was 2011. Bryson DeChambeau also knows what it takes to win a U.S. Open. The 31-year-old won it last year and in 2020, so he has 2 of them, and his length and putting will give him an advantage on the course. Dustin Johnson won at Oakmont back in 2016, but his game isn't nearly as good as it was back then. He missed the cut at Quail Hollow, currently on the LIV Tour. He has 31 professional wins, including 2 majors, the Masters in 2020 and that U.S. Open at Oakmont in 2016. He finished second at the PGA in 19 and in 20 and finished second at the 2011 Open Championship. And another guy that was cut at the PGA was Brooks Koepka. He hasn't been relevant lately, but has 21 wins, including 2 U.S. Opens, which in my opinion are harder to win than the others, 3 PGA Championships. He won the Open in 17 and 18 and won the PGA in 2018, 19, and also in 2023. So those guys you always have to look out for. It's going to be fun in June in Oakmont. Bob Pompiani and I will have a preview before the U.S. Open and a recap afterwards right here on CBS Pittsburgh. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, great week, great month, and I'll see you later.